Remember back in the 90s when O.J. Simpson was being arrested. He was running down the highway in his Bronco. I was on the #1 station in Chicago that morning on WHO. Okay, this is interesting. And I was talking about the stuff that we're talking about. Now listen to me, friends. This is a funny story. And I was going off on the whole stuff just like we were doing right in the middle of this car chase with O.J. Simpson. And all of a sudden I talked about high-fat luncheon meats and pork, and you need to stay away from these and the biblically forbidden foods. And there's a guy knocking on the window in the door. Knocking on the window. I'm not going to mention his name because he probably still works there. And I looked up and the guy's knocking on the window. And finally the guy pushes the buzzer because this is WHO in Chicago and it's got all the security. The guy comes running in. He's the farm forecaster back then. Okay? And he grabs a live microphone and starts screaming what I was saying. He was disagreeing with everything that I was saying because I had really nailed pork products. And I looked at him and I grabbed my microphone. Then he stands up. And I stand up. And we go at each other for about 90 seconds. And finally the guys just cut the show off. The director comes running and turns the camera, just turns them off. And I left and I thought, wow, okay, because you know we had a new book out back then. And I thought, well, that book has just crashed. There's no way we're going to sell any books on that show. And I called my 800 service up and here's what they said. We don't know what you said, but our phones have gone nuts because everybody knows that you believe what you're saying because you were given as good as you were taking on that show. And we thought you guys were fixing to get into a fight on air. And so we know that what you're telling us, you believe, and you're telling us the truth because our spirit rings clear that the truth is being told. See, the truth will set you free, saints. You listen to me today, I'm telling you, there's certain things you need to do, certain things you don't need to do. I'm never going to lie to you. I'm never going to give you bad information. I won't do that. We've talked in detail in the last few shows about trans fats and hydrogenated oils. I've gotten in so many arguments with people on the air who were professionals who said that margarine was better than butter. Total lie. I've gotten in so many arguments with people on the air about aspartame. And the craziest thing is every single thing, I've been doing this for 33 years. I'm 57. My wife is 56. I've been doing this since my 20s. And every single thing that I told my listeners back in the 80s, when I first met you, Pastor, back in the 80s, every single thing I've told you all of these years, everything, not one thing without exception, has been proven to be true. Everything.